Play, I'll be your camera person, your scoreboard operator, graphics, it all. Clark on the first serve of the night and into the net. May River going to go on the board first. Due to a serving error. And there's Aerial Rick for May River getting ready to serve, and she can go on a run, a rotation of points, and she grabs an ace there. Off of the net is a dangerous position to be in. Quick tip and over, and Bluffton gets their first point. Backside, back to Walsh. Skirtage pops that one up. Rick goes to the outside to Duncan. She's able to get over Clark with the dump and scores. Outside, Rick fires, won't miss that time. Clark inside, Jones. Francis Scotty trying to send home a banger, can't get that when they go outside that time. Waddell pops it up in the air. Clark outside, Calzadia, the block is there. On the outside, going back to her soft touch this time, grabs the kill. Foda on the serve. Duncan sends it right back, and Foda couldn't get back in position. Defense up front for May River. Nice play coming back, Sonogi. Almost got a kill there. Great defense from the Lady Bobcat front for May River. Nice play coming back, Sonogi. Almost got a kill there. Great defense from the Lady Bobcats there. And they're going to grab what would do that. Not to the point where it disrupts the game. You don't want them making a lot of mistakes. You want them to be confident in their calls and make the right calls pretty much 100% of the time. A 99.9 there. But they replay the point, and this time it goes to Bluffton. And so Duncan on the serve. Cross court, they go to Smith, block, Foda pops it up. And Duncan sends one over, Clark gets the dig, sets it outside, Smith blocked up front. The Skirtich and Sonogi. Sends that one over. Smith powers one another once again. Rick just saves that one. Nice play to get that around the net. Clark Jones, quick hands. Defense can't rally, and a kill for Jeanette Jones. Oh, it wasn't even power, it was just a quick directional shot. She found the hole and just tapped it there really, really fast as it was sitting right above the net. There's Rick looking for some power. Nice defense. Smith gets that one in the air. They're going to reward her, give it right back to her, and get the kill. Smith done a great job tonight on the serve. There's Rick. That time, that one skips off the block just to make it across the net. Clark flat-footed. Back to Kozak. Rick up in the air. Soft touch, Foda dives after Macy tosses it over. Smith grabs another. Ended it with the ace there. Foda back up. Waddell. Calzadia to the back corner. Skirtich can't get to it. And that's going to be 25. Because both of these teams, defensively are pretty good, just trying to find their consistent hitters and, who they're going to feed the ball to, to get those tough points, that can't be stopped. And Walsh tried to get one in the block. Sonogi and Skirtich on the out. Substitution, Cox and Gutierrez on to the court for the Lady Bobcats. Treywick on the serve. Smith trying to send one in the middle. Sonogi and Skirtich with another block. Tried to go with her palms there instead of going underhand. That time she gets it there, and a little bit of target there in the back row. Can't get that one, another 8. Treywick gets it that time. Rick sneaks one over down that left side. Jones backwards hits that one over. Inside misdirection and the kill. Jensen Skirtich there. That's Smith and Jones. Jones back to the ground. Defense, Skirtich. Gutierrez in the back row on the dig. They go to Jones, the block up front, Francis, Scotty, and Rick. Nice serve by Kozak. Gutierrez handles it. Diving in was Waddell, keeps it alive. Nice job by Set. Foda. Excuse me, this volley. Clark sends one over. They go to Rick on the outside to block Jones and Clark, and it does end their point. So Waddell's effort. Set. Sonogi sends one over the head of Clark, pops it up. Smith keeps it in play. Nice work by her to get it to Foda. Palmer going back to Foda. Foda gets it behind the stand, tried to save it. Calzadilla grabs an ace, and that tips right off the arms for last second. Last second hands dropped into a knee. It was Clark there to keep it alive for the Lady Bobcats. Smith sends it over. Harden goes backside to Palmer. Palmer fires. Going to be out. They're called touch off the fingertips there. Jam in two. Cox on the serve. Goes to Treywick. Can't get to the corner. Going back to serve. Rick fires and keeps the lead for the Mavericks. Waddell, that was on the serve. That one played right on the line. Close call there. Oh, had an amazing first set. It's been quiet kind of since. Palmer feeds her again. That one goes into the arms of Foda. Calzadilla, power, defense there. That's Hersey and Francis Scotty. Francis Scotty on the serve. Clark coming down from down low on the hit there. They try to go back to Palmer, trying to work her into the rotation here tonight. Francis Scotty can't get to the back corner. Clark on the serve. Kozak sets backside to Hersey, and Hersey with the kill. In the rotation, her turn to serve. Walsh tips one. Skirtage pops it up. Harden over the head there, keeps that one alive. Backside Calzadilla on the serve. Sends that one over. Gutierrez pops it up. Cox, Smith on the outside. Treywick gets the dig for the Lady Sharks. They go to Rick, and that one's going to be touched. And a kill for the Lady. Dig. Rick pushes to the outside to Aurora. Rick block up front. Jones and Walsh. This time Skirtage sends it over with two hands. Gutierrez to Cox. Jones to the right side. Grabs the kill. And miscommunication for number 24 as everybody's feet was Rick sends it over backward. Waddell outside, Smith. Ricochets off the defense. They go back to Rick off the fingertips of the block, and that's known once again. My name is Javon Livingston, and your sponsor for tonight's coverage is BCTV. Amelia Clark on the serve to open it up here for the Lady Bobcats, and Sam Calzadilla tries to hit one over to open it up here for the Lady Bobcats, and Sam Calzadilla tries to hit one over and runs into the defense there. That's Sonogi and Duncan that was there on the outside, but lands out of bounds, so it's going to be a point. Underhand goes Clark. Skirtage coming in. And there goes Duncan and falls right onto the hardwood right next to Foda. 5-1, another 4-point hole. Rick. Walsh this time fires. The defense is there. That's going to be out. And Calzadilla gets the ace. Calzadilla floats one. Skirtage comes up for it. Rick in outside. That Jensen Skirtage popping up in the air. They go outside to Aurora. Rick powers one. Smith pops that one up in the air. Gets the dig. Jones Backwards over. Rick to Francis Scotty. The block to the left side, and Waddell. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, out of the timeout break. Aurora Rick on the serve there. Calzadilla, and you want to talk about that break for the Lady Bobcats. Foda on the serve. Low dig right there for Skirtich. Duncan from way outside gets that to stay in play. Calzadilla Vivas, another kill, and I'm trying to keep up. And falling asleep on the defensive side. Cox on the serve. Skirtich going low. Aerial Rick to Aurora, Rick the block. Jones and Walsh. Emerson Skirtich on the serve there. Clark sets, goes to Walsh. Rick pops it up. And there's Jensen Skirtich to the corner right there, just up front. Rick to Rick, back to Rick. Able to get it back over. Foda on the dig for the Bobcat. Jones on the hit for the Bobcats. There's Jensen Skirtich. Francis Scotty down to the court. Skirtich on the serve. Duncan pops that one up. Set it to the backside to the Jensen Skirtich there. Smith finds a hole in the defense, grabs a kill. Or Rick, aerial Rick, Jensen Skirtich. Gutierrez to Skirtich. Rick on the dump. Waddell is there. Smith gets hit number 2, but Foda can't follow. Kozak serves another. That's Waddell in the middle to Jones. Duncan backside. Aurora Rick powers when the defense is there. Jones and Clark. Foda. That one's going to stay in play. And Mayriver grabs number 25, and they'll win the. Mayriver sends it back shortly. Walsh with the hit from the bottom of your screen there. Duncan floats one. There goes Smith. Clark, and no one there for the hit. Number 3, that one's going to go to the court. And area Rick, she can get rolling. I believe she probably has some of the highest rotational points as Walsh gets that one to fall over the net for the first points of the night of the set. Once again, on the defense, Francis Scotty falls to the court. The dump by Clark, trying to play it off the net and still in. Nice save there by the Sharks on the defense, but Smith back down to the court. (8-5). Outside to Rick, powers one off the arms of Smith. Francis Scotty. Don't see that too often. A little bit of a call there. They're going to talk about it a little bit. I think it was back too far. I think that was right on the line there. See if we get it again, and they're going to give the point to the Bobcats there. That's going to be out. Francis Scotty on the serve there into the arms of Smith. Calzadilla comes up fast. Rick serves it to Smith in the middle. They go to Walsh, the block. Outside, Skirtich and Sonogi. Calzadilla to the backside there. Skirtich pops it up, hard into Duncan. Walsh on the dig. Clark to Calzadilla, and Rick can't gather fast enough. Rick can't gather fast enough. And a change of call. Still Bobcats point. They lead by 2. And a change of line judge here. Serve. Also with the dig high into the rafters there. Smith tries to hit on the block. Sonogi and Skirtich have been doing a good job. Clark sends that towards the back. Skirtich pops it up. Sonogi made it seem like she was going hard with that. Duncan, her serve wide to the left. Sends it back cross. Back row into the arms of Duncan. They go to Rick on the outside. Send some heat on that one. Jones is there on the block. Clark and crew can't get there. Ties it up. Coming in underhand, close to the net. Rick, the skirtage there. Walsh sends one high and out, and the Sharks take the lead. Skirtage on the serve, and Gutierrez can't get it in. An ace for Skirtage. And Rick going back and forth with Jones and Clark there, and she powers one and she gets the kill. 18 all. And that barely gets over for the Lady Bobcats. They go the opposite side. They go to Rick. And once again, serve. Skirtage pops it up. Rick from the opposite side there. Jones. Last chance attempt there. Calzadilla able to get it over there on her hit. Outside, they go to Rick and the block once again. Quick one-hander there. Clark tips it over. Skirtage, Rick, backside, feeds it to Duncan. That duo is there again of Jones and Clark. And they can't keep it alive, and Mayberry grabs 22. Folder on the serve. Francis Scotty. Waddell backside to Clark. Harden fingertips, and that's in. That's 22. Clark on the serve. Skirtage to Hersey. Back over Clark to Walsh. Miscommunication. That's 23. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, here on Beaufort Zone, sponsored by BCTV. Set number 4. Going to 26 right now. Duncan sails it. Bobcats on the serve with Clark. There goes Duncan right back. Smith, nice dig, keeps it up in the air. There goes Walsh. Tipped by Skirtage at 26. Bobcats. Amelia Clark on the serve there for the Lady Bobcats. Maybe we're able to return. Calzadilla on the hit. That's going to be out. Remember, set number 5 only going to 15. Still got to win by 2, though. And Rick on the serve, and she grabs an ace. Rick on the serve. Clark goes to Walsh. The block is there. Sonogi getting in there. Smith keeps it alive. Nice defense. There goes Rick. Powers one to the court. Folder on the court once again. Clark tries to go for the dump there. Back to Rick, and that time gonna be out. (7-3). And that's gonna be an ace off the arms of Gutierrez for Skirtage. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. After the timeout break, Skirtage on the serve and grabs 2 aces in a row. They go outside to Skirtage. Nice dive and dig there by Gutierrez. Jeanette Jones gets the hit. There goes Rick, and once again, Folda. The defense is there, but that lands on their side of the court as that one's close to the net. Skirtage. Serve off the fingertips of Gutierrez. And man, you want to talk about here in set number 5 as they're trying to bring this one home. Skirtage once again on the serve. Smith barely gets that one over, just a little bit of tap. Rick to Francis Scotty. Skirtage on another. Folder keeps it up. Clark over to Walsh and a little bit of tip. Rick, last chance of tip, still alive. Oh my. Clark over. Rick over to Skirtage. Jones pops that one up. Clark pushes it back over. Skirtage, low hands. Rick up. There goes Jensen Skirtage. And the defense can't rally. And here comes Waddell on the serve. Duncan, dig, outside, Rick, power, and that's going to be 15. And